I'm Heaps Nelson, and before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Iowa. I have a BA in art history from the University of Pennsylvania, and I've lived in New York for about 16 years. I'm a painter too. If you're interested in seeing some of my work, I have some stuff up at Jack the Pelican Gallery in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Today we're at the Plain Space Gallery in the Village to look at the show of an interesting painter, Jonathan Podwil. You can see there are several paintings in this show that look similar. Of course, the title is Meeting 1983, so it's somewhat ambiguous. In each painting, you see a couch. You can see the way that they're painted. There are a lot of dark colors, a lot of raw umber in here, and earth tones to describe the couch. A lot of people don't know this, but earth tones are oil paints, and the pigment that gives the color of the paint is actually made from earth. Dirt, as it were. Well, I'm going to let you in on what these paintings are about. The subject of these paintings is a meeting in 1983 between Donald Rumsfeld, who was working for President Reagan at the time, and Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Basically, the point that I want to make is the dark palette with the earth tones is appropriate to the somber nature of this meeting and some highly politically charged content. You notice the distance between the figures on the couch is significantly charged space. The other thing that's interesting about this kind of painting is, normally in a figurative painting, the figure is the most important aspect of the picture. In this painting, it looks like the distance is as important as the figure, and the way that the figures are painted, they're almost blurred out. It's as if the painter were giving us information, and then with his brush, withholding information from us. This one gives you a clue as to the method of the artist. This is a negative image. He's giving you a clue that he works from film. The original source for all of these paintings is a single frame of video of Saddam and Rumsfeld meeting. And Jonathan Podwil is a filmmaker as well as a painter. From an art historical standpoint, what's interesting about what this painter is doing is he's playing with the idea of history painting. From the Renaissance until the days of the French Academy, paintings of kings and historical moments were commissioned by the popes and the state. What puts a subversive twist on this idea is that the painter is documenting a meeting that the current administration would just as soon forget about. He's documented the shifting alliances in the Machiavellian world of foreign policy. Another way of looking at these paintings, and this is just me, they remind me of a vanitas, a painting that is essentially, the idea is to remind you that life is fleeting and death is inevitable. You can't help but remember that Rumsfeld has been erased from his job and Saddam is no longer with us. So these are figurative paintings with a high degree of abstraction, nice use of the distance between the figures as a subject. They're based on film, and they play with the idea of history painting. I'm Heaps Nelson, and I hope that you have enjoyed this segment. Thanks for watching.